Today, I'm going to share with you how to score 170 or above on the LSAT by focusing on logical reasoning. For those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005, and I personally increased my own LSAT score from a 152 to a 175. I got a question here from a student who writes, "Hi Steve, logical reasoning is holding me back. I'm consistently scoring around 160 on practice tests, but I need a 170 plus for the schools I'm targeting. I'm just not seeing the necessary improvement even though my test date is coming up. How can I significantly enhance my logical reasoning skills to boost my overall LSAT score?" So there's a little bit of a truism in this question here, which is that logical reasoning is already the majority of the LSAT. So since it's 2/3 of the test, improving at the LSAT and improving at logical reasoning are almost one and the same, except for reading comprehension, of course. So logical reasoning, I always recommend devoting a lot of time there just because it's 2/3 of the test. And so any gains you make in your understanding of logical reasoning will be doubled across the two sections. Now, there are roughly 15 different types of logical reasoning questions, but some are more common than others. If you want to focus on the areas that are going to be the biggest bang for your buck, I would start by looking at necessary assumption, inference, and flaw, since these are the three most common types of logical reasoning questions. Now, I'd look at, out of the 15 types of logical reasoning questions, which ones are you relatively better at than others? So I will occasionally have a student who says to me, "I'm terrible at weaken questions, but I'm pretty good at strengthen questions." And strengthen and weaken are two sides of the same coin, meaning that if you take a strengthener and you negate it, you're typically going to have a weakener and vice versa. So you can easily reframe one question type as another with the same method of reasoning. This is one of the techniques that we use as part of the Socratic review method to help you better understand the questions that you're struggling with without relying on explanations on forums and such that can overly confuse you. But instead, we give you a personalized plan of attack to help you tackle whatever LSAT is going to throw your way, because we're not going to be there with you on LSAT test day. And so if you can learn how to manipulate LSAT questions and see them from the test maker's perspective, you'll be in a much better position to get even the toughest logical reasoning questions right. This Socratic review method is a cornerstone of my LSAT courses and my one-on-one coaching programs. If you're interested in finding out more, you can check out the links below this video to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out. Now, aside from focusing on accuracy in logical reasoning, you can also look at your pacing, how you allocate your time over the course of the section. Sometimes students will tell me, "I could get all the questions right if not for the time constraint." And so in that case, my thought is, how can we help you get through the section more quickly? Logical reasoning questions are presented in a general order of difficulty, meaning they get more difficult as this section goes on. And so even though every question is worth the same amount, some questions should be easier to solve and faster to solve than others. I recommend aiming to complete the first 10 questions in roughly 10 minutes, assuming standard timing, so that you can build up a time bank to apply to the tougher questions later in the section that truly need it. Meaning you can slow down on the tougher questions, maybe flag 3 or 4 of them to come back to later, and then with the security of having completed the section, you can go back and address the questions that you had flagged. And then with a second look, a fresh perspective, you can break out of your previous tunnel vision and turn that guess into a correct answer, for example. And these questions that you flag, those are going to be your best candidates for in-depth review after the exam, looking at what gave you trouble about it. Was it the wording of the stimulus? Was it attempting wrong answer? Was it an unusual wording of a question stem? Whatever it is, those are the questions you're going to want to bring to your coach in your one-on-one sessions so that they can help guide you to a better understanding of the question. At LSAT Unplugged, we're not going to explain the question to you the way that a book would, or the way that a video would, or the way that a forum would. We're going to actually ask you a series of questions to help you clarify your understanding. Because what I often find with students is that when they articulate their understanding of a question, the way they describe the argument tells me everything I need to know about where their misunderstanding stemmed from. So for example, confusing what could be the case for what must be the case, that's a really powerful and important distinction that LSAC loves to test. And so while you may not see it during a quick read under timed conditions, if you can focus on those lessons learned and on those key distinctions after the fact, the more you do that during your review, the better situated you'll be to spot it under timed conditions. So again, you can check out the links below to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out on your LSAT journey, whether it's through our one-on-one coaching programs or our small group program. And in the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.